Madzookjoe here, Joe Jekel, and I want to bring you a Madzookjoe's perspective today. And today's perspective is on light versus dark. All right, so this versus that. Huh? Which side do you ride? Well, it probably doesn't shock you to know that you ride both. And all of us as humans have both light and darkness in us, right? It's the age-old struggle, man versus man, man versus nature, man versus himself. Okay, and so I'm getting ready to embark back down to Phuket from Chiang Mai. And as I'm out shooting this video and putting some Madzook perspective videos together for this week's posting when I'm on the road, I wanted to, it came to me as I was thinking about, you know, I've always felt like I'm a vessel of light. And, but, you know, I've wielded darkness many times and throughout my life. And oftentimes I've used darkness to try to instill light, okay? And there's a saying out there, Nishki, he says, you know, when you're hunting monsters, be careful not to become a monster. But as anybody that's been in a war or a conflict or any kind of situation where they've had to use their power of darkness, it comes back down to something that an old friend of mine and I discuss quite often, and is it actually the action that you take, or is it the intention of the action? Right? Because if your heart is in the right spot, but your action is wrong, did you do something wrong? Or was your heart actually the point that you need to measure? All right? So there's one big rule of thumb that we all must understand. So we have times of darkness upon us now, and there's been historical mega times of darkness as we know through history. Well, right now, we are living in modern day times where this COVID has not only created a plague, a virus, you know, a pandemic, whatever you want to term it, it literally is the only time that the world has shut down. Every single country shut down, locked borders, prevention of people coming in. I mean, worse than a war, right? During world wars, they didn't lock down as much as they've locked down during this virus. And, you know, many think it's an overreaction. You could chalk me up to one of those people that think it's an overreaction, because as a psychology practitioner, I understand that the default of the darkness that is instilled across the land was far more than just the fear of this one virus, this one plague, because humanity always wins. We defeat these plagues. We do win, right? And with all the science that's there and all the stuff that's talking about it, I want to set COVID aside for a minute, and I want to elaborate on the idea of the darkness that has been created. There's despair, you know, depression. I hate to use that word because it's a clinical word, and I only want to use it when someone really needs to use it. Too many practitioners in my field will quickly call someone depressed, and I think you get into a whole host of problems with that. Not the point of this conversation, but when there's desperate times, people think desperate thoughts. There's, you know, loathing, hatred, envy, anger, sorrow, regret. All of these negative powers that just start to beat us down, right? And many of you have faced these. And we've faced them at smaller times or different intensity levels throughout life. But right now, the whole world is facing this, right? And so we're as a humanity trying to find ways to fight back. And it brings me to the point of as I try to work our branding and our stuff that we're doing, I forget the main focus of what I'm doing. This is what I'm about at my core. Self-discovery, personal development, performance enhancement. But the basic foundation for me is I want to be a vessel of light. You know, it's a platitude, you know, if you want something to change, be the change, right? Well, I want to instill change, but I don't want to just change people because there's something wrong with them. I want to equalize and balance. There's the balance. In Chi, there's a balance. And I want to be a balance by being a vessel of light. So I'm about to enter a place, Patong, on Phuket. And Phuket in Thailand was hit exceptionally hard by this, by the job loss and the despair and stuff that's happened. And there's some beautiful people in Phuket. So, you know, one of my most favorite places in all the world that I've traveled. And Patong is a city, a beach city in Phuket that has exasperated, has really taken a hit for what's happening. And you know, there's a lot of darkness there, you know, and we can overlook some of the deeds of darkness that take place because what's the intention of the person's heart, right? And I believe this is the number one rule for light versus dark. Light can never defeat the darkness. It never has. But darkness is forever. It's always there. The only thing that stops us from living in darkness is when someone turns on the light. Huh? All right, will you turn on the light? Because our lights burn out. Some of the best people, some of the smartest minds, some of the strongest individuals I know have been powerful forces for light, right? Warriors to the death for light. But they did die the death. Their light dimmed. They absorbed too much darkness, or they lost their power. Some of us lose our way from time to time, right? But the key thing is this: turn the light back on. Huh? If we want to keep the darkness at bay, we must always find a way to turn the light back on, all right? I hope to bring some power and energy and light and hope and true well-being to the people of Patong and the people of Phuket, right? I hope that spreads throughout humanity. I want to bring it to you online. I want to bring it to you in person. But first and foremost, I want to deliver what I can as a vessel of light. I want to give you hope, not despair. I want to take away apathy and give you energy and motivation. I want to make you healthy. I want to help you mentally strong. Get the skills you need to excel, right? Let's forget about what we can't do right now. The world's in a dark place. Let's take our lighters out like a concert. Woo! Let's put them up. Let's all hold together. Let's light the way, right? I'm not asking you to change. I'm not asking you to not be who you are. I'm not asking you to forego darkness, because that's an impossible task. Everyone has it. I'm not asking you to not be jealous of someone, because, you know, let's face it, most of you are going to be, no matter what I say. At times I find myself having to fight the same thing. We all must fight the darkness. But the key is we don't have to fight it alone, all right? So I want to help. I hope you want to help. Let's light the world back up, because we can't open the door unless we turn the light on, all right? We have to turn the lights back on, and it's only going to be up to us, because we can't count on governments to do it. We can't count on world leaders to do it. We can't count on bank bailouts to do it. We can't always look at finding money at the risk of the other person. There's that show Survivor, and this is the true Survivor right now, because some people amongst us, humans, are a dog-eat-dog kind of people. They're going to worry about their survival, their happiness. What can they take from the other person? That's the worst. There's going to be some that do it because they feel they need to, or they're desperate and they have to do it this way. But then there's going to be others that are willing to give. You're going to see some of the greatest vessels of light appear right now. So I hope that we can do this together. This is the difference between light and dark. Light will not defeat darkness, right? Light can only prevent darkness from overwhelming us, right? We must turn the light on. We must be part of the light. I'm Madzookjoe, Joe Jekel, and this is Madzookjoe's Perspective. I hope you join me and turn your light on.